My next guest says the FBI should take over the investigation, but the Malaysian government is not cooperating. New York Congressman Peter King is with me now from New York. And, sir, good day to you.
Thank you, Bill. You too.
You say it's been frustrating for the FBI, and your understanding is that the Malaysian government is not cooperating. Is that still the case with this FBI team on the ground there now?
Well, again, this is just a last-minute development, really. The fact is you had 7, 8, 9 days where Malaysia was not reaching out to anyone. In fact, it took them a week before they even decided to look into the backgrounds of the pilots. And it's during times like that where an organization such as the FBI, Scotland Yard, Interpol, all of them could be so effective in tracking down what happened, tracking down the backgrounds of these people. And it's very consistent, unfortunately, with Malaysia's policy overall on this. I mean, they didn't even share the information that the plane had changed course. So for the first 4 days, you had everyone looking in a totally wrong location, even though Malaysia knew that the plane had not crashed in that area.
But
so,
is it your sense that the Malay government's changing?
I think they are, but it's reluctant. They're still not fully cooperating. Maybe they're afraid if they share the information they have, somehow other countries will get some intelligence insights on them, which can be used in other instances, or maybe it's just a question of pride that they feel they can do it on their own. But whatever the reason is, it certainly has, whether it's the radar that they didn't follow up on, whether it's not bringing in experts like the FBI to assist them in the investigation, or whether it's not even sharing the information of the location of where the plane probably went down or the direction it was going in. It's really been mistakes by Malaysia, which countries like Singapore, for instance, in that part of the world would not do. So
but as you know, the government in Singapore is much different from the government in Malaysia. And you could also admit, I think they would too, in Kuala Lumpur, that they've been overwhelmed by this as well. Now,
that's all the more reason why they should have brought in people and asked for assistance. The United States is not going to hurt them anyway.
I don't disagree with you on that. You said some things on Sunday that raised my attention here about this plane and the pilots, the growing consensus of some sort of suicide plot on behalf of the pilot or co-pilot or both. And you suggested that they wanted to fly as far away from land as they could. Now, what is that based on?
It's basically trying to form some sort of theory, and in talking to a number of people, both in the intelligence community, aviation community, people who deal with matters of this, they were saying there's no reason why, since all the effort that went into pre-programming, flying the plane in a different direction, why it would have flown so far out into the Indian Ocean when there's almost no place they could have gone if they flew 7 hours out in there. Now, if they landed somewhere, that's one thing, but if they didn't land, if they crashed, the only reason for going that far into the Indian Ocean and crashing would be for the plane never to be found. And that would be basically a suicide that couldn't be proven, which whether they're looking for insurance premiums or, insurance payoffs for their families, or if there's a certain shame in committing suicide, that seems to be the most logical reason. Okay, but the experts I've spoken to.
Just to be clear now, the reason you're even suggesting this, it's just theory.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It's nothing more than that. But they would fly the plane far away to have no physical evidence.
Right.
That would allow the family members to collect a life insurance policy?
That's been done before, that type of thing, because if you can't show suicide, then the person is entitled, the family is entitled to get the life insurance, or you come from a religious background where suicide would be considered shameful. Again, these are experts I've spoken to trying to figure some reason why you would go to all that effort to pre-program, to fly the plane, and then aim it out into the Indian Ocean, heading down toward Antarctica, where it's the most, it's the deepest, and it's probably the roughest type of ocean, and the most difficult place to find any airliner.
Wow. Just to be clear, you say this has been done before? When?
As far as I was told, there were several instances where pilots took their planes down and did it in a way that suicide cannot be proven.
What about terrorism?
Oh,
I know you said no record of chatter. Has that changed, or what's your feeling on that?
No, I'm not ruling out terrorism. I was just asked what I thought was the most logical theory at this time. As far as terrorism, that certainly can't be ruled out. The fact is that there has been no terrorist chatter. There's been no communication that's been found. But having said that, I certainly would not rule out terrorism, especially since Al-Qaeda has had a strong presence in Malaysia. We know how easy it is to get on a Malaysian flight with a stolen passport. And even though there's been several run-throughs on the passenger manifest, they've still not been able to do full investigations of all the passengers on that plane where we could find something out about their background. No, I would not rule out terrorism at all. I'm not ruling anything out. I was just asked what was the most likely theory if the plane went out into the Indian Ocean. Why would, if it's going to be a suicide, why would it be aimed 5 or 6 hours out? rather than just bringing it down right away.
Listen, everybody's got a theory, certainly, and very few answers. Peter King, thanks to you, Republican from New York. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Bill.